So I'll be comparing R5C to R5. So yeah, the fire alarm rang. Good. I get really awkward on camera. Maybe it's just practice. Anyways, I was talking to a friend the other day and she told me something that stuck with me. She said about the threads I was posting every other day. She said, I love the threads you post, the rants you're like talking about the market and everything. And every day I wait for the threads to come out. Me on the other side, I was thinking, nobody reads what I put there. Well, someone was reading, it mattered to someone. So whether you're awkward in what you're doing, just starting, or like me, just starting with the talking to the camera thing, just do it. You're gonna suck. Whatever you start, and whenever you start something, it's the natural thing. The natural thing is to suck at first and get better with time. Well, some people do have natural skills for some stuff, but I guess you're gonna be getting better at what you do with the practice. I mean, I don't guess, I know for sure you're gonna get better at what you do with practice. So whatever you're doing, there is someone looking forward to see what you're doing. So just be consistent, keep doing it, and stay on track. I mean, you cannot control the results, that's the truth. But you can control the work you put in it, you can have fun doing it, and you see things start to create life by their own, and eventually you have something. But anyways, today's video, I'm gonna be comparing those two cameras, R5 and R5C. So I'm recording everything again because I got the cameras wrong. So I'll be comparing the R5C with the R5, both amazing cameras. R5, amazing battery life, shoots 8K 30 FPS, it shoots 4K 120. R5C, amazing camera, impressive colors, the log profiles are even slightly flatter than the R5, the colors are slightly better, it has the capabilities of changing the codecs, can shoot up to 8K 60 FPS, which is impressive. At this price point, there's no other camera that does it that good for now. So anyways, those are the qualities of those cameras, amazing cameras. As I said in a previous video, this camera was the backbone of at least 1 year of my life. It paid itself very quickly, and this camera as well. I do think the colors on the R5C are slightly better, as I already said, but the biggest problem with the R5C is the battery life. The battery life is so disappointing that sometimes I think I would take this camera back if I could. Well, it is a great camera. If you're shooting with an external power source, great, it's gonna work just fine. If you're shooting photography, it's gonna be amazing. But if you're shooting video and you don't have an external power source, your battery will last you like 15 to 20 minutes on the video mode, which is insane. I mean, why even have a battery if it's gonna be like that? But anyways, it's still a great camera, but you gotta know that the battery life is gonna suck. You're gonna have to invest in some good external power source. I do it with the V-mount battery, and I plug it to the USB-C here. And it works just fine. And in comparison, the R5 is an amazing camera. It very rarely failed me. I always shoot log and 4K up to 60 FPS. If you try to shoot 120 or 8K, your camera is gonna overheat so fast you will not notice. Once I was working on a shoot and was shooting with an R5 in 120, it overheated in 4 minutes. So you gotta be aware of that. The only time I got kind of in a situation because of the overheating was because I was shooting on an open parking lot on the top of a building in Miami during summer. So it was so hot that even managing the battery life, even managing the overheating situation, it got in 3 hours and a half, 4 hours shooting, it overheated. And when it overheats, it's still on, but you cannot shoot with it, so you're not gonna record anything. Luckily on that day, by those 4 hours, it was already lunchtime, so we had a break. It wasn't that much of a deal that my gear overheated because the photographer's gear was already overheating. So I got away with that. If you're in a shoot, what you gotta do is watch the timer on the overheating counter, and whenever you're not shooting, when it's a change of a look, a change of clothing, a change of some kind, you gotta turn it off. Just turn it off. If the timer gets to 4 minutes or so, you can always open the camera, take out the battery, leave the monitor open, and leave it aside for a little bit in between look changes, and you're gonna be fine. So if you're looking for a camera that's super reliable and you're gonna have a lot of gimbal work, this is perfect. If you're gonna have a bigger rig and you don't mind having an external power source, this one is perfect. Either one of the cameras, they produce great imagery. I wouldn't recommend shooting 8K or RAW with the R5 because it's gonna either overheat or the file codec will crash your computer. Meanwhile, with the R5C, you can shoot any mode, you can shoot any codec, it's gonna work just fine. Just be aware of the battery life and video mode. In the photography mode, it has the same battery life as the R5. Also, the autofocus on the R5 is better than the R5C. When you're in video mode, you get the autofocus of video mode for the R5C. It's the same autofocus you get on a C70, for instance. Meanwhile, in the R5, you're gonna get the photography autofocus, and it's amazing, and it nails the focus almost every time. Besides that, another thing is the R5C doesn't have ISO. So if you're gonna do a lot of handheld work, you gotta know that you have no stabilization. So it's gonna be a little more jittery, it's gonna be a little more shaky, not a big deal. So I guess for this comparison, that's it. And if you have any doubts, hit me up. And if I remember anything else, I'll talk about it in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and if anything, hit me up.